represented in Jamaica by a Governor General, who is the head of our state. I am merely the head of the executive of the state, the head of the government. Most Jamaicans now believe it is time that we install our own head of state.
Yeah. Go on, youth, yeah, go on. Ease yourself, just keep it calm, youth, yeah, star. Only put pressure and I'm gone. One time it hard to carry on. You no need no girl for turn to, no man for talk to. Feelings hurt, on the journey so far.
Wagwan Success family, this is O. Andrew Holness JLP government has plans of transitioning Jamaica into a republic, which means cutting off ties with the British monarchy by next year. However, that will be challenging because Mark Golding blocks that plan and told his PNP representatives on the Constitutional Reform Committee not to sign off on anything until Andrew Holness give him a clear clarification on the government's stance regarding a complete transition to full decolonization. Mark Golding is the type of leader that stands on business. He knows what decision to make and he is decisive in those decision making, while Andrew Holness plays it safe, and I will tell you exactly what is going on and also the key difference in how Andrew Holness leads and how Mark Golding leads. Plus, let me know your thoughts on this situation. Should Jamaica completely cut all ties with the Privy Council and King Charles, because that is what Mark Golding wants, or should Jamaica cut ties with King Charles but keep the Privy Council as Jamaica's highest court? So let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and make sure to subscribe to get all our latest videos. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Now, for Andrew Holness JLP to achieve their goal, it will be difficult, including the legislative process of tabling a bill in the lower house and a mandatory 3-month waiting period before debate can begin on amending constitutional clauses related to republicanism. I will explain what all this would mean for Jamaica if we were to cut ties with King Charles. Right now, Jamaica head of state is the British monarchy, which is King Charles. Now, if and when we cut ties, we will have a president as the head of state that represents the country internationally and domestically, and we will also have a prime minister as head of government that is responsible for the day-to-day administration of the country. The same exact way that we elect a prime minister will stand, so which is through a general election. Now, Jamaicans will vote who they want to represent them. So whether Andrew Holness or Mark Golding, it are going to be the same just like that. But then we're going to have a president who will be elected by the legislature or a special electoral college, which is made up of members of parliament or other representatives. This is what I want people to understand. Both Andrew Holness JLP and Mark Golding PNP wants to cut ties with King Charles and for Jamaica to become a republic. But this is where Mark Golding take a stance and disagree with Andrew Holness JLP completely, and that is over retaining the Privy Council as Jamaica's highest court instead of using the Caribbean Court of Justice. Mark Golding is insisting Andrew Holness use the Caribbean Court of Justice as Jamaica's final court before he can endorse or approve Jamaica becoming a free country from British ties. Mark Golding said Andrew Holness' approach is a half measure that would leave the UK Privy Council lords involved in Jamaica's justice system. Mark Golding wants them gone along with being free from King Charles. Do both at the same time simultaneously, not getting rid of one and then keep the other as a backup plan. What's also funny is that I read somewhere where it says the UK Privy Council is considering to have Caribbean judges sit on the Privy Council. In my opinion, this would be a move to have Caribbean countries that they still control stop considering getting rid of them. Similar to what Andrew Holness JLP government wants to do, which Mark Golding clearly does not support. If we have our own Caribbean judges sitting on the Privy Council, then no one would actually try to get rid of them because we have a seat at the table. Brilliant tactics by the Privy Council. Senior counsel Hugh Small criticized Andrew Holness JLP approach of proposing republicanism without Caribbean Court of Justice involved. Hugh Small is the same person along with former Prime Minister PJ Patterson that criticized DPP Paula Llewellyn handling of the Vybz Kartel case when they allowed the contaminated juror to remain on the jury. For anyone who wants to know exactly what Prime Minister Andrew Holness himself thinks about the situation. Well, Andrew Holness is remaining neutral on the Privy Council versus the Caribbean Court of Justice debate. Meanwhile, Legal Affairs Minister Marlene Malahou said it is regrettable that Mark Golding has instructed his representative on the committee not to sign the report, even though the report includes only those recommendations to which all members of the community agreed. Marlene Malahou said, "This is giving Jamaica people what they yearn for, what they have always asked for, and that is a republic where no king or queen is involved in the country's business." So despite the setback, Marlene Malahou said there is progress in the Constitutional Reform Commission's recommendation for republicanism. I will not lie, when I was younger, as a little juvenile just growing up, I always wondered to myself, why can't Jamaica have a president just like other countries, or why don't Jamaica have president like other countries, not knowing one day I will be equipped with the platform, or should I say equipped with the knowledge and have the platform to actually, give the people and tell the people why this is or why this isn't. Just one of them things that we don't know what life have in store for us, and if we just keep dreaming, even though we get a youth afraid for dream, I don't know why. Anyways, remember I told you how Mark Golding wants to cut ties with the Privy Council and also King Charles at the same time simultaneously, while Andrew Holness has not decided where he stands on the matter. This is telling us a few things about the type of leaders they are, the type of leader Andrew Holness is, and the type of leader Mark Golding is. Andrew Holness and Mark Golding demonstrate contrasting leadership styles approach in dealing with Jamaica transition to a republic. Andrew Holness is taking a more neutral stance. You might think it is a more diplomatic stance by refraining from a definitive answer. Maybe Andrew Holness is more worried about having dialogue, and he might also want to be careful about the decision that he makes regarding the situation, because election is around the corner, so everything that he does or do will be scrutinized, and people will judge the JLP performance from now until the election time come around. So then better be careful, and I feel like that is what Andrew Holness is basically doing. Now, Mark Golding takes a more aggressive and assertive approach by instructing his representatives to withhold their signatures on the Constitutional Reform Committee report until Andrew Holness replied to his concerns about the reform process. Chronicler said government badness Andrew Holness, but I think Chronicler should do a part 2 for that song, because right now government badness target practice Mark Golding. Really and truly, Mark Golding is a marksman, pun intended, because the way he has been treating Andrew Holness JLP is not normal. He's putting pressure on them. Anyways, let me not drift away like TJ from the main point. Mark Golding is frustrated over restricted access to the draft report. Mark wants transparency. Now, I personally believe Mark Golding's stance is the type of leader you need, because his type of leadership style is necessary to drive change and overcome obstacles swiftly in no time. Mind is made up and you just have to execute your plan, which requires decisive action and clear direction of what you must accomplish. So despite Mark Golding's style of leadership or Andrew Holness' style of leadership, both leaders are engaged in the constitutional reform, right, which is trying to get rid of King Charles, the Privy Council, the whole the whole of them. So I personally feel like Andrew Holness' strengths could be his willingness to open discussions and try to prevent any conflicts from happening, engage other people in the conversation and listen to what them have to say, stuff like that. While Mark Golding's strength is or could be, a more decisive type of stance where him know what him want and he makes those hard decisions without heavily depending on his personal advisors. You know what I mean? So big up Mark Golding, big up Andrew Holness, big up the whole of them. You see me? Because everyone have them present. Hear me a chat foolishness. Everyone have their preference. You see me? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section about, about this video, about everything that was mentioned, about everything when we talk about. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the subscribe, thanks for the views, thanks for the comments. As always, I'm out. If you don't subscribe, your girl I go subscribe. So just don't make sure you beat it to it, alright?